Good morning, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Clack, and I wanted to start out my presentation, since we're all seniors, by asking a question. How many of you can think of a person off of the top of your head who has really influenced you up to this point in your life? Awesome. Like you, I have people I've really looked up to throughout my life, especially up to this point, just about to graduate high school. And that led me to my big question. How can I show my appreciation for help to all these people for helping me become who I am today? This was really important to me because I have so many people who have heavily influenced me, and I will be going to college soon. All right, now I have another question for you. How many of you have written a letter to someone you care about in the last month? Like, not including open house invitations, that doesn't count. All right, the last 3 months. Last 6 months. All right. Like a lot of you, I hadn't really thought about writing letters to someone I care about because snail mail is really not a thing that we think about anymore. There's texting, there's emails, there's phone calls. It's easier, it's faster, and it doesn't take as much of our time. You can just pull out your phone, write something real quick, put it away, and it's not a big deal. For my senior project, I decided that I wanted to write letters to the people that have really impacted me in my life, but I wanted to do handwritten letters because I thought it was something different. Not many people send letters to people they care about anymore, again, for the simplicity factor. And going into college, I thought it was really important to acknowledge these people and say, hey, you really have helped me come as far as I have before I'm there. Just so they know that going into college, they've really inspired me. Looking up stuff in my annotated bibliography, I found a TED Talk done by Mike Robbins, and he talked about really the power of appreciation and how there's a difference between recognition and appreciation. And I really took that into consideration because recognition is you can tell someone what they've done. You can say, you've done this, this, and this for me. But appreciation is being able to appreciate someone's character. You actually appreciate the person that leads to those actions. So then I was like, okay, for my letters, I need to stay away from listing, dear so-and-so, you're really cool because you've done this, this, and this. Bye. Like, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be able to really dig in and say, your character and your personality has really inspired me, and your actions because of your character has helped me to do this. I also found that there's science behind being thankful and showing gratitude. There's biological health benefits to showing your gratitude towards someone. If you give someone a compliment, both people benefit from it. You've got the person receiving the compliment, obviously that's going to make them feel good. And you giving someone positive energy gives you positive energy. So they showed at a study at University of Berkeley that if you keep a gratitude journal for 2 weeks and just write down what you're thankful for, it will reduce stress levels and headaches. And going into college, I think that's kind of awesome in the way that if I know that if I just keep a journal for 2 weeks and write down every day one thing I'm thankful for that happened that day, I'm going to reduce stress on myself just for being happy. Like, who doesn't want that? If you're really someone who doesn't like confronting others, and you think it's awkward, I think awkward's a really big word that's used in society today. It's hard for us to like confront people because we feel like, oh, it might be uncomfortable for me to tell them this. Then you can keep the journal just for yourself, and that's where that comes in. Or you can do it face to face, because really, I don't think it would be awkward to tell someone, like, you look really nice today. They're not gonna be like, oh, you're weird. They're gonna say thank you. It's gonna make them feel good. And I also came across this quote by Robert Casper Lindner: Thanksgiving was never meant to shut up in a single day. And I thought that was really closely related to my topic because I'm not going to shove everything on this one day and say, well, I can tell everyone why they're awesome on this day because that's the point of the holiday. I want Thanksgiving to be every day. I want people to know that they're appreciated not only when they get to eat turkey and stuff their face with pie, but I'm thankful for that every day. All right, I chose to write 5 letters, and I chose to write to former dance teachers and former teachers throughout the high school. I chose dance teachers because I've been a dancer ever since I was a really little girl, and so they've really helped me grow into who I am today. So they've been there every step of the way, every day after school. They're going to leave an impact on me. And then I have some educators in the high school who have really helped me form great study habits and helped me improve a lot in certain subjects. All right, here are 2 of the people I decided to write letters to. This is my former dance teacher, Liz Joint Sandberg, and my other former dance teacher, Megan Cottrell. They were both really a big influence on me when I was younger. I had them every day, probably from the 2nd grade up until 8th grade or 7th grade. And they were both such nice people. Every day after school, they would show me their positive energy, and that would make me want to radiate that as well. They would always push me to work harder, and especially Megan, I found, she was always very accepting of other people. And as little kids, we're always, we're not afraid to say what we want. So I'd be like, oh, she's not doing that right. And she's always there to say, you know, we're all dancers here, we're all on different levels. And she really helped me understand that that's really important to remember. And now being a dance teacher myself, I know that I took a lot from them. These are the 3 other people I sent letters to. This is Mrs. Haggart in the math department. I had her for math all of freshman and sophomore year. She taught me everything I know about math, taking notes, and mastering simple topics, because math's never been my strong suit. I've always been an English person, so I thought that she really helped me, and I can still go to her for help whenever I want. These other 2 ladies, this is Bethany Hepworth and Andrea Pernich. They were my ballet and point teachers throughout high school. Bethany I knew before high school, but I've really gotten to know her more freshman through senior year. She's not only a dance teacher for me, but a mentor. With friends, I can go over to her house. We can talk. If I have any issues, I can go to her. And I think that's really special that I can form relationships with someone outside of school. So a lot of my letter to her was talking about how being able to build a relationship with her outside of dance was really special to me, because it made me feel like I really had someone I could go to. And then Andrea, I actually just had the pleasure to meet this year. She was my ballet and point teacher for only a semester. But in that short time, she's taught me so much. She's got the most positive attitude. She's an amazing woman. She's a hall director at Lars Lear on campus, and she is very positive. She works with hundreds of kids every day, so she sees tons of different attitudes. And one of the points I talked about in my letter to her was one day I was really stressed out. I had a ton of stuff going on at school, and I got to class, and she asked me something, and it just clicked, and I started crying in the middle of class. It was the most embarrassing thing, and I left. And I came back, and I finished ballet class, but afterwards, she took me in the back office. We sat on the floor, and it was one of the most real moments I've had with someone, because she was willing to get on the floor and just chill out with me and be like, yo, what's going on? And I thought that was really cool on her part, because it really showed me that her care for her students goes beyond the classroom. So I talked about that a lot in her letter. All right, I'm hoping that through writing letters to people to thank them for helping me become who I am today, they'll be inspired to do the same. It's kind of like a chain reaction, because I feel like if I'm making someone feel good, then they're going to want to do the same. So by writing letters to my personal community, I'm hoping they'll write letters to theirs. So when they get my letter, I hope they think, you know, when I was in high school, who really helped me was my English teacher. And I hope they can find the courage or the time to find that person's address and write them a letter, because it's never too late to tell someone why they mean something to you. All right, before everyone here goes to college, I encourage you to write a letter to someone important to you. Chances are you wouldn't be the person you are today without that person, and it's not going to do anything to negatively impact you. It's just going to make them feel better. It's going to make you feel better, and it's a really awesome thing. Taking the time to write these 5 letters gave me a lot of time to really look into myself and everything I've accomplished throughout high school and even beforehand. And it was really cool to see just how much these people have influenced me, because at first, like, I wasn't really sure who I wanted to write letters to. I was like, I can write letters to my parents, they've been there, they raised me. But then to think about who besides my parents has really been there for me was really cool. And it's like, well, why am I this way? Why do I think this way about this? That's probably because this happened in this class with this teacher. So I thought that was really awesome. And I do believe that there's health benefits to showing gratitude, because when I was mailing those letters, I felt so good, because I was like, these people are going to open this letter thinking it's an open house invitation or something, just be like, oh, all right, there's another one added to the pile. Then they're going to see, no, it's a handwritten letter, and I'm not asking anything of them. All I'm saying is, thank you for being there for me. I really appreciate everything you've done. And so I just sent out the letters, so I haven't had any responses yet, but I'm hoping that it helps make their day better. Thank you for